Hello everyone, I want to start with a quick story. Imagine you're sitting at your desk late at night and you need help. You've got a research paper to summarize, some code with a bug you can't figure out, and a presentation that you really don't have time to polish. Traditionally, you might ask a colleague, maybe Google a few things, or just burn the midnight oil. But today, you might also call on an AI assistant. The real question is, which one? That's what I want to talk about today. A new system called DeepAgent, and how it compares to three of the most popular AI tools: ChatGPT, Claude, and Cursor. So let's start with DeepSeek itself. DeepAgent isn't just built to chat. Think of it more like a project manager in AI form. Its strength is what we call agentic reasoning, meaning it doesn't stop at giving you one answer. Instead, it can plan, take multiple steps, check its work, and even call on tools along the way. It's designed less like a conversational assistant and more like the colleague who says, "Okay, let's break this down into steps and solve it methodically." When we compare that with ChatGPT, the differences start to emerge. ChatGPT is what most people know: smooth, polished, and great for general use. It's like the reliable friend you'd bring to dinner, approachable and always ready with answers. DeepSeek, in contrast, is less about personality and more about structure. If ChatGPT is the conversationalist at the table, DeepSeek is the engineer sketching workflow diagrams on a napkin. Then comes Claude from Anthropic. To explain Claude, here's a picture. Imagine you're a grad student staring at a 500-page textbook the night before an exam. Claude is the one you'd hand it to. It can take in enormous contexts, summarize them clearly, and speak with a tone that feels gentle and patient, almost like a trusted tutor. DeepSeek doesn't aim for warmth or long empathy. Instead, it's the person who says, "All right, here are the exact steps we'll take to process this workload." Claude excels at reading deeply. DeepSeek excels at reasoning through tasks. And then there's Cursor, which is really different. Cursor isn't a general assistant, it's a coding companion living right inside your development environment. Imagine you're fighting with buggy code. Cursor is that friend hanging over your shoulder who says, "Try this refactor," or automatically fills in the next function you need. DeepSeek can also handle code, but it does so as part of a larger orchestration. Cursor is hands-on inside the editor. DeepSeek is more of an architect that can manage several tools across a pipeline. Now, let me add one more layer to this story: benchmarks. Beyond personality and design philosophy, raw numbers tell us a lot. On the MMLU benchmark, which tests reasoning across multiple subjects at an academic level, DeepSeek 5.2 scores around 73%. ChatGPT 4 scores a bit higher in the mid-80s, and Claude 3 Opus edges close to 88%, which is the current leader. On math reasoning with GSM 8K, DeepSeek hits around 92% accuracy. ChatGPT 4 is slightly lower, around 90%. And Claude sits in the high 80s. In this domain, DeepSeek is actually ahead. On coding tasks, measured by human eval, DeepSeek posts results in the 70% range, ChatGPT 4 gets closer to 80%, and Claude is typically in the mid-70s. Cursor, of course, isn't judged by benchmarks like these, but real developers report it dramatically speeds up everyday tasks by weaving AI directly into their workflow. So, what do these numbers tell us? They tell us that DeepSeek is extremely competitive, particularly on reasoning-heavy and math-centric tasks, sometimes even outperforming its bigger rivals. But for sheer fluency and general writing, ChatGPT is still stronger. And for very long context, Claude is nearly untouchable. Cursor, meanwhile, avoids the academic metrics altogether because in the real world, developers simply value its tight integration more than a raw score. So zooming out, here we have four distinct characters. ChatGPT is the polished conversationalist. Claude is the thoughtful researcher with a long memory. Cursor is the coder's real-time sidekick. And DeepAgent is the orchestrator, the problem solver designed for multi-step reasoning. And the most important thing to remember is, it's not about one winner, it's about picking the right tool for the right moment. For quick conversation, ChatGPT still leads. For massive document analysis, Claude is unmatched. For daily programming help, Cursor is indispensable. And for orchestrating complex workflows step by step, DeepAgent is carving its space. And maybe the most exciting vision is imagining what happens when these strengths start to merge. Imagine ChatGPT's polish, Claude's depth, Cursor's specialization, and DeepSeek's reasoning efficiency all in one. That's the likely direction the future is headed. Hybrid systems, seamlessly blending the best of each. So, the next time you find yourself up late wondering which AI to call on, remember it's not about which is best overall, but which is best for the task you're facing in the moment. Thank you for listening, and please like, subscribe, and share.